everyone, welcome again to my channel. I am Stella, your Coverleaf personal and business credit coach. I do provide DIY services on how you can build your credit and maintain a good credit score. I also do provide advice on what impacts your credit report and how you can take those items off so that way you are keeping a good credit report. And I also do provide financial literacy as well. We'll be talking about what impacts your credit report. It's going to be divided into two sections. So today we will be talking about part A, and in my other videos I will be talking about part B, which would include derogatories, bad debts, and write-off as well. Now, one thing that impacts your credit report is your personal information. Yes, if you do have any mismatch in your name, or there's any inconsistencies in your social insurance number or any of your personal information, those have a way of impacting your credit report negatively. And that's why in my other video, I did recommend that you should ensure that you check your credit report to make sure there's no mismatch or inconsistency. And if there's anything like that, you can reach out to your financial institution, your lending institution, or you can reach out to the Canadian Credit Bureau, either Equifax or TransUnion, and have them rectify those items as well. Now, another thing that will impact your credit report or your credit score will be your credit trade. So credit trade, I'm talking about your credit facilities, such as your credit cards, loans, lines of credit, bills, lease, and so much more that shows under your credit trade. Now you might wonder, how does my credit trade impact your credit report? Yes, it does impact, especially late payments. If you do miss your payment, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, they do report to the credit bureau as late payments, and these would negatively impact your credit report and drop your credit score. I do recommend try as much as possible to make your payments on time, so that way they don't impact your credit score, because it's a lot of work to try to build back your credit score, but it's not like it's not achievable. It's achievable, but it's just a lot of work. So avoid getting to that position where you have to go through all that process of work to build back your credit score. Make your payments on time. Another thing under your credit credit trading that impacts your credit report or your credit score is your balances on your unsecured revolving credit. So revolving credits are things like your credit cards or your lines of credit. We do recommend to keep a 30% balance of your limit. Once you start going above 30%, hitting close to the limits, 50, 60, 70%, they do negatively impact on your credit report. I don't recommend this most times, but when push comes to the shove, I usually will advise, when your balances are pretty high, contact your financial institution or your lending institution to take a look at the possibility of bumping up your limit, so that way your balance is a little bit off your limit. Now, this is more like a last resort, because my recommendation would be try as much as possible to pay down your balance. Now, I get this question a lot from people that says, oh, I do pay my balance off, even though I carry large balances, but I do pay it off. Yes, that's awesome. That's a great step. But the question I do ask is, at what time are you making those payments? Does it tally in line with when the institution is actually reporting it to the credit bureau? If, for example, the institution reports on the 5th of every month, and at that time you're carrying a large balance on your credit card and you paid it off on the 6th, it has no impact at all, because it has already reported. So it's going to be showing as a negative on your side, and that would impact your credit score. But if you do pay the balance before it reports to the TransUnion or Equifax, then that would come into play and that would help your credit score. So one thing that I do recommend is reach out to your institution, and if possible, find out when they do report to the credit bureau and make sure that you make your payments prior to the day that they will be reporting to the credit bureau. Another item that does impact your credit score are closed facilities. Yes, you might have closed the facility, but sometimes it still shows there's a balance on it. So that would still have a negative impact on your credit report. My recommendation is contact the institution that has those facilities and ensure that they are closed and they do carry a balance of 0. If you do have a balance of 0 and the facility has been closed, or you haven't used that credit card or line of credit in a while, that has no negative impact on your credit report because it's actually in good standing. So it reports like an active trade that it's in good standing, even though it's been closed or you haven't used it in a while. Other things that do impact your credit score are the number of inquiries that you do have. The number of time any institution has had to do a hard credit check on your credit bureau, they do have a negative impact on your credit report. And that is why I do recommend 1 to 3 credit pulls in a year. That should be sufficient. Anything going above that, then they're negatively impacting on your credit score. And it takes a lot for you to build back those numbers when there's a high credit pull. I don't know the financial institution that you do use, but some financial institutions do provide a free credit report evaluation on your online banking. If your financial institution provides that services, you could take advantage of it. Also, they do have like a simulator. It gives you an idea and says, for example, if I want to apply for this credit report, for this credits, if you use the simulator, it would give you an idea on where you are currently in terms of your credit score and where you would be after an application is done. So that would help you in your decision making to know, do I really want to apply for this thing now, or do I just want to wait until there's a much better time to apply for it? Also, derogatories, right of consumer proposal, collection items, they do negatively impact on your credit score. I will be talking much in details about the derogatories, the consumer proposal and all that in the part 2 of this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.